was funny.
You try that.
You know, the only way you get over stage fright is by going on stage.
Well, that's not happening still for me,
Standing
so
next to
yeah.
Vivian is about right.
That's okay. Ruby.
Ruby.
sure that, Pam's done a sound check, so we can hear her and
So, Tom too?
It's,
Tom also.
Okay.
There's
Alright, put this thing up.
there's one person that's always low, it's not, it's not Pam.
Jill?
No, actually, sorry, that's in the Parks Commission, I think we're everyone here's fine.
Oh, okay.
It's usually Josh is always crazy quiet.
Look at this over here. No, it's a screenshot. I saw that too. Was it, is that the same person? I have no idea. I don't think so. Is that a coincidence? It's not, maybe we tried. No.
Did I send you that comedy act about the guy talking about punk rock singers?
Yes, you did. That was hilarious.
That was really
So
eye,
true though.
that was eye-opening.
This is what I'm gonna post.
It was. So funny.
I was like, you really, like, when you're at that age, you don't think about that.
No, and like you eat it up. Like, it's so funny.
I wish it was summer vacation forever.
I also listen to it. So good.
Nowadays, I find myself listening to the parody music,
Yeah?
like on Broken Side, remember that?
No.
Oh, you gotta look it up. Don't play it out loud, it's not safe. NSFW.
Do we have the images are all loaded up?
Yes.
You wanna walk me through? Or are you
Yeah.
gonna be able to be here to,
You want me to?
I will be happy
Okay,
for you to do that.
It's just, all I have, we have our thing, and then the app. Oh, it's not showing up. That,
Oh, got it.
we have just the website,
Mm-hmm.
and then the app, and then this is for Andy,
Mm-hmm.
and then we just have the different posters.
Okay.
So actually, there's not really anything else for here, but this is just for the events part, and then this, I guess, for Ryan.
Community cleanup? Yeah, yep, yep. Yeah.
Great. So yeah, it's just that, unless.
There's a photo too. I opened it.
Oh, right.
Can we make it larger? Great. Oh, you picked a really good one. That like says it all.
Perfect. So yeah, that's just under the.
I don't know, but she told me that she would be coming tonight with cookies. I don't know if she's gonna.
I hope so.
If she remembers.
Okay, that's like great. So that's what the app's gonna look like.
Yes.
Really look sharp.
Couldn't see this.
explaining the whole thing.
Yeah, why are we gonna make a separate check? Can we just give it to me?
Because I want my tax.
Okay. In which case,
do it right now.
scan it, make,
I'll just give you this right.
yeah, give it to Carissa or Ruth.
Yep. Oh, really? I thought it was over.
This is the last.
Okay.
That's really cute, cause that cat would kill me. I have my blue brush in the car.
It's okay, thank you. Me? Who?
Dump truck. Which is running fine.
Is that an invoice?
Yeah.
Invoice.
Just remember the time you have to get into it.
Was it not supposed to be running time? I don't know the story. I don't know if there is one.
And he explains the whole thing.
Okay.
So, well,
What was wrong with it?
it was dead.
Okay.
Okay, the door didn't open up. The Fernundle, you remember that show? Remember when
Yes.
they did that?
Yeah.
You call it Fernando?
Fernando.
Fernando.
Huh? No,
Fernando.
but no, there was a TV show
Pictures.
where,
Oh,
I forget
yeah.
what comedy it was, but somebody called it a Fernundle.
Okay,
Door not staying closed when driving?
Yes.
Was that
And you
for
couldn't put
Crawford?
it in, you couldn't put it in park, no, this was.
Correct.
That sat there the whole summer. It moved.
Stop that.
It dumped. The tailgate wouldn't open.
So no one used it? For rusted?
And just let it, they let it sit there.
Who's gonna use it now?
Yes.
We need a new one, he said. We need a something's good, I wanna be there in front. When something's bad, you don't bump. You know, that's when you have to be assertive.
If you actually saw the stuff,
He's never, he's never really like, he's kind of just there, he wouldn't act like a boss. I know, like, the last 2 years, whenever I need something, I ask to hire her, I'm like, how are you doing? Well, you can't prove it.
can you please approve this? Just,
I knew what to send him to, like,
yes.
the bare necessities there. And I tried to, everything, because, look, I'm guessing when he was talking about it,
Apparently, his side gave him a really hard time, because he hated everything.
See, that's not my fault.
but you know what, he should approve
I
that.
did ask, could we get access to cable cast and that, this
No,
and
it
this
should
and
have,
that.
because if she emails that to
Because it's an online software.
Russ, he's just gonna say,
Excuse my French.
he needs to access
So, I was just, the thing is, it's considered encroaching that territory, how you violations, I got all that stuff, but, you know, that was like, after that, I was like, hey, we just have like editor access to add,
I'll
add
have
the
to
right
send
ourselves.
it and send it to her.
But then all of
So
those.
I should have read, I go, here.
That's why,
Okay.
that's why we did that email to remind them.
So maybe the thing to do is to hit a reply to all, or reply to me anyway, and respond.
Okay.
It's always on.
Yeah, okay, and then the other thing too is like, we started at 5 o'clock, so the feed is running for an hour before the event. No, yeah, you're right, probably some poke.
So when, did you, are you close to
Yeah, I'm sure.
the girl that went with?
Right, pardon me,
Yeah.
I
We went the last 3 months or so, it wasn't showing.
What?
She really.
I said the last 3 months, it wasn't showing on his
I
channel.
know the
so it
family
wasn't
said,
showing.
That's why. Can you check tonight,
that's what they
Mr.
want, so they can have closure, but. What else is there? Kind of story.
Spring break.
Her friends,
Always a friend.
the friends and her went to the beach with a guy, she was with the guy, and then her friends, the guy, and then shows the guy coming back in the morning, and never, he pled not guilty. He says, yeah, he's not guilty, but the friends never even reported her missing for like, they went on some
Carissa?
excursion.
My tablet's asking me for the password for the exchange account.
What does that mean?
I was gonna ask you if you knew what it meant.
What are you trying to do?
Turn on the tablet and go to my office.
Oh, Microsoft Exchange.
I mean, so Ed settings?
Yeah.
inside,
Is that working?
yes,
Oh, good.
because parents, nannies, everybody that was coming for a program was helping themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of like down in the kitchen when everybody catering and we give enough back to the town.
We're ready? I know we have people who's like they wouldn't hire him.
Do they review all of them?
It's a lot of, like, it's literally 8% return rates. Whoever is the most, was a
I didn't either. They just said, can you do QuickBooks and Sage? Come sit down right here. We're happy. Hello, hello. Hello. Hi.
Okay? Just being safe? No?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah, no, I had a strep throat earlier in the week.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Okay. Tell me about it.
Hi.
So Brian,
Yes.
our donor,
Yeah, I was curious. Who is it?
Jack Weldy, Ashley Weldy's husband.
Okay.
Hey.
That's very nice.
Wow.
I am.
He asked for details about the event.
Yeah.
And I spoke to Pam about it. She was gonna write something up, but that hasn't happened.
How long ago did you ask?
Huh? Yesterday morning.
Okay. All right. I can try to put that together by the days.
I know, oh yeah, I know what she's saying. Thank you. And if she sends something, I'll obviously let you know.
Yeah. Okay.
What's that?
Yeah. So St. Patrick. I've been sick myself this past week, so I haven't gotten much done.
When I was at
As
this,
far as
I
things
got
go,
this
put
together
together that
actually.
sheet for the sponsors to send out to everybody. I'm really honest. Okay. So the things that I put on it were basically shout out on the flyer, shout out on social media, preferential cable,
You put them together.
you know,
What was the first word you just heard? What on social media?
Stephanie here?
Shout out.
Kind of
Okay.
young person from out there, I guess, you know. You know, a post basically thanking them for their sponsorship of the,
So here's what you get.
yeah, that's the idea, but I feel like we're not offering enough. You know, I know when I did the film festival, we had a set of Rubik. I don't know if that's something we want to do.
What is a step in?
That's like the,
Oh, it's
it's
the
like a
big, it's the
banner.
big background.
Yeah, it's the
Like
background with
gallows.
the logo
don't remember the password?
Yeah, Marley Love, 1982.
There's no reason you should.
What end do I go on?
Ashley
Not
will.
the end.
She was involved heavily.
Do you have to use, are you going on the website or
I thought I had it automatically.
no?
The,
They're not at home.
before she lost her last year, she and
You don't have
her
internet
husband
anyway.
spent a lot of time
No, I
with
know,
her
but it's,
and talking about
where's,
Hello, everybody.
Stephanie was with Brandon today on the street. And not
meeting at Crawford Park.
Right
Oh,
there.
here it is, here it is. All right, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You have everything like it.
Last year,
Thomas Nardi.
Okay.
focused and put in the water tower valve filling station right by. I never ever heard that. Maybe there's had words in here, so where'd you find that stuff?
What were the little girls doing here?
This year, we were planning to get. And that's where my brain
Is
was
anyone?
going.
Yeah.
And then
No,
as
was
we
it-
were
was it express?
learning about that, it sounded like, I mean, that was one thing, and then I just, we started to get pushback from from our grant writer. With regard to the team and sponsorship,
Yes.
and it's earlier this week that
That's a great use of funds.
it was a perfect fit. Is that for me?
And then if you're able to get a good sponsorship from the company.
Let me just see where I am on this list.
For the quest.
I'm actually by financial.
Honestly,
I last bit. But it's not financial receiver.
Unless you have a special petition.
that's not something that I can count on year one.
Yeah.
So usually, the sponsorship starts to build. This is one of them.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the goal.
Some of those schools really bad.
What is it? I'm not sure if there's any- You don't think so, the in-person thing? No. You don't know if she's not going.
I know she's not going to be.
We're gonna
She's
check.
gonna be on Zoom for an hour.
Very good.
Pardon?
I remember hearing that she'd show up. That was like
Have you heard from me, Dan, more Tom, about this one? Neither of them are on, and I don't know if it's having trouble getting on or.
I can eat it after this.
It's good, I like that.
Pamela has joined.
I don't see programs here.
I didn't see her.
I need a,
Oh, the COVID, I did. Oh,
No, it was probably in a bag.
yeah, the big bag.
Yeah.
Try one, but. Oh, here, try this one, let's see, this one has.
I got a message saying Pamela Jaffe has joined.
nutrition facts unknown.
Oh, you got a notification, okay. That's right, it's on board commission.
No, I test
Should I
everything.
call her?
And why it tells you
Please,
pretty
tell her
much
that
everything.
email.
It tells you everything. Meanwhile, it just got.
As we had, all right, we're gonna fix that, and Ruby is sending you, she's,
I think it's imagine you see the function of these things. I haven't caught since, so it's doing its job. It's safe.
Exactly.
It's like a goalkeeper just sitting there waiting for a shot.
It's making it
Tell you
simple.
protein fiber.
I hate, I don't
Okay.
fuck my glasses out.
Smart colors.
No, but it's like, I think because it's vacuum sealed, it's like there's no place to just take a look.
Sea salt Mediterranean is good.
It's a plunger.
Cars, table water is good. Go to, I have all of these things there. So anything, butter,
Oh, it tells you the sodium, oh, that's good.
does everything.
Which app is
You
that?
got.
Oh, Yuka, you can Spanish and
not able to comment. That's all right.
Hi, Carol.
Okay, got it.
Unmuting to make sure you can hear me.
We can hear you.
All right, thank you. I'm gonna remute.
gives us the next best thing to do.
Yes, really, really good.
I want you to know,
You give
Pam,
a lawyer one?
Pam, are you online?
Yeah.
Hi, Gary.
You definitely.
Hold it. Is Pam on? Shh.
Those are really good.
I
Yes.
want to hear her. Pam,
Gary.
Tara just brought us cookies, but I want everybody to know that the best brownies that I ever had in my life were the ones you made for Randy's party a couple of years ago. So if you guys want to exchange recipes,
Who made brownies?
Pam.
I would assume that the cookies are much fancier than my brownies.
They were great brownies. You remember them, Randy. You heard.
They were
I
great.
still-
They were great. Not quite as good as the ones my grandmother made.
She'll take second place to your grandma.
Why is this?
Is double dose of beer belly.
Right here.
Okay. All right.
Wasn't my mother, so I did double time.
Why is this?
What's the matter? It's two.
What is this anyway?
That's the proclamation for Arbor Day.
It's not on the agenda, is it?
It's celebrating Arbor Day. It's on the agenda, so I guess.
Should we get started? Because
Great idea.
George is going to arrive any moment and then.
Let's go. Let's go. Come on.
I like this job. My favorite job of all time.
Passing out cookies.
Yeah. This is so good.
One for you, one for me.
One for you, three for me.
2, 1.
Welcome, everybody, to the Rye-Town Council meeting of March 20th, 2025. Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the roll.
Debbie, Hope, please
That's
call the
okay.
roll.
Councilperson Jill Axelrod.
Present.
Councilperson Pamela Jaffe.
Present from the beautiful city of Seattle.
Ooh, okay. Councilperson Thomas Nardi, absent. Councilperson Randy Sellier.
Present.
And Supervisor Gary Zuckerman.
Present. Thank you. Pam is appearing via, I'll just call it Zoom for lack of a better word, as she is away on business. We have an in-person quorum of 4 people. Quorum is actually 3, and therefore Pam will be allowed to participate fully in the deliberations and voting of the town council this evening. Where'd he go?
He's there, he's behind.
Our first item today will be a presentation from Congressman George Latimer. Congressman George Latimer, I saw him. Oh, he's there. You were hiding. Hello, George. Welcome.
Supervisor, it's nice to be with you and members of the board tonight. I appreciate a few minutes to give you an update. I've been, amongst other things, in these first 3 months trying to visit each of the different village boards, town boards, and city councils to do what I did in other positions, and that's have a dialogue and let you know some of the things that are happening. And in the particular responsibilities that I have now in Washington, it's a pretty dynamic environment, chaotic environment. So there's a lot of things that can't be predicted until we see how much further we get down the road. A few things that I'll mention just in the immediacy of things. The federal government did pass a continuing resolution. I was not supportive of the resolution, but passed a continuing resolution to keep the government open. So there will not be a federal government shutdown. When something like that happens, it has a ripple of effects throughout the government, notably in an area like this. We're near the Westchester County Airport, and there are some impacts on the airport when government shuts down, but that's not going to happen at this stage of the game. However, in the continuing resolution and the policies of the new administration, there are any number of different cuts to various departments, which are being challenged in court, and we'll determine whether those cuts are upheld or not. But they create a level of unsurety that no government and no legislator at the federal level can possibly know how they're going to play out. The President announced today that he was ending the Department of Education. That doesn't affect the town, but if I were speaking to one of the school districts, that would affect them and the resources they get out of the Department of Education. You know, whatever the arguments are in Washington, you have your own arguments to make here at the town board. You don't need to be the part of those arguments. But while that back and forth and lawsuits and arguments on one side or the other, the issue is at hand. A school district will say, we have on our books X number of dollars, and what do we do with that? And the same may be true of the town. So I think it's valuable. I know we've had this conversation with the town administrator as well, that wherever you have any federal funds for any town purpose, identify them, and if you can share them with me in a memo on letterhead, that will help me keep in mind those issues that may yet come up when we have legislative action in Washington. One thing that we're monitoring is you might call them member items. They don't call them that normally, the earmarked money that legislators have for various projects around their district. We believe that the current administration and the current leadership of the House and the Senate are going to renege on those commitments that were made last year for capital projects throughout. There are 15 projects in this district. I know there was a project that involved Rye Brook. And so most likely I'm going to have to take this year's allocation and resubmit everything that was approved last year to see if they can go through this year. And that creates some instability. So if on that list, I think I sent a letter to the town with the listing of those projects. If there's a town project in that, we're resubmitting them for this year because apparently they're not going to be honored from last year's commitments. Everything that was done by my predecessor was done appropriately, and the things that we're doing now is to try to protect those allocations of money. Across the board, you know, we're looking at probably the next major issue that may transfix the federal government is the proposed increase in the debt ceiling. That vote may come as early as next month. It could come as late as June. It depends on the process by which we're spending money in the aggregate in the federal government. That debt ceiling, as we approach it, needs to have congressional resolution to raise it, and there may be insufficient votes in the majority to do it on their own. So far, they've been able to pass legislation on their own without having to work across the aisle with the minority, which I'm a member of. But the debt ceiling limit may be different, and that could become the next big issue for people to watch. The ramification of that could also be the problems that the federal government will have in paying its bills. So we'll see how that works out. If there's anything that affects the town in all of that, do let me know. Beyond that, I have a seat on the Small Business Committee. I also have a seat on Foreign Affairs. I don't think the town's involved in Foreign Affairs officially. So the small business interaction may be that's of value. So if we want to have a follow-up conversation with Debbie or whomever on behalf of the town, some of the things that you think of as being helpful, we work through Chambers of Commerce and so forth, but what type of legislation in that zone that I can be helpful with in the committee that I'm on. You know, I'm part of a body of 434 other representatives, and so you really do see people working in the lanes of where their committee assignments are. And so therefore, anything that falls into that zone is something that I can work on directly. And we'll keep you posted, you know, when we're going to have meetings with the public. You know, I'm out in the community all the time, here and in other places. But there seems to be a demand to have those singular sessions where everybody can come. They call them town hall meetings. They're really sort of a, you know, citizen speak out. And people come to express their anger or their frustration, which they have a right to do. But, you know, the hope is that when we have those sessions, it can be channeled into something positive and not just, you know, expressing anger. That isn't something to act on. So if we have any of those along those lines, I'll reach out to you, perhaps at the right venue, you know, we can do something that falls within the town's jurisdictions and the villages and engage people that way. It's a work in progress, but we'll, you know, I'm putting full attention in, as I have with every other assignment that I've had. We've worked together during my time in the State Senate, the State Assembly, and the County Executive's Chair. So I think you know the level of diligence I have, and also the level of respect I have for your government and the issues that come before you. And if I can be directly helpful on an issue, I'm happy to get together with you, have a meeting, talk about whatever the priorities are, and keep you updated as I do now that we have a companion event, the Congressional Call, which comes on the fourth Monday of the month, the week after the county's municipal call, which we initiated when I was there. So this coming Monday at 3:30, we'll have the Congressional Call, much to cover on that call, and hopefully will be helpful. So I appreciate you letting me give a 5-7 minute update. I'm happy to take any questions, and then I'm happy to take my leave.
Well, I'll go to, do the members of the council have a question? I have one or two. I'm very, Pam, you had? Did I see you?
Yes, I mean, the first thing I thought about today when I saw the news about the Department of Education was Portchester District. They do receive a lot of federal funding, and I'm sure you're going to go talk to the superintendent and the school board there, but worried about that.
We believe that his action today is illegal. The Department of Education was created by an act of Congress signed by the President, so we don't believe the President has unilateral ability to eliminate it or to defund it. Those funding levels that they're operating under this year were approved by a prior Congress and a prior President acting within their authority. The analogy would be, before I became county executive, there was an arrangement made by my county executive predecessor regarding Playland. I came in, I did not like the deal. I thought it was a bad deal, but I couldn't arbitrarily break it or decide as the current county executive that I could make invalid a legitimate contract that had been signed by a duly empowered county executive and legislature. We went to court. We did not win in court. The contract remained in force. When I left as county executive, it appears that the standard is leaving, so that creates...
You won in the end.
Yeah, in the end, the week after I left office. But I digress. The principle behind it is, as a county executive, I did not have unilateral power to do whatever I wanted to do, and I believe that applies in the case of the President. So, yes, his move on the Department of Education is profound and very negative in my judgment. And if you want to reduce the spending of a department, that's perfectly legitimate. If you believe you've identified waste, and there should be a report that identifies waste, not just an assertion of it, sufficient to eliminate a whole department, that to me is just an ideological cut, not a managerial cut. That dialogue can happen, but that's not what's happened here. So that's where we seek relief in the courts. And so far, we've been relatively successful, the royal we, in having federal judges at the trial level rule that many of the actions that he's taken, executive orders and so forth, are illegal. And it doesn't mean that there isn't cutting and analysis to be made. There is. But it gets done the way you do in corporate life, which is you do it logically. You get people to come in and analyze it, you break it down, and then you show how to do that appropriately. If I want to lose weight, there's a way to do it. Cutting off my arm is not the way to lose poundage, and that's sort of the equivalent of what we're seeing. So we'll see how it plays out, Pam.
Okay, thank you, Congressman.
A couple of questions. We have at risk a $4 million potential grant at Rytown Park that did not make your predecessor's list, but did make the list of both Senator Gillibrand and Senator Schumer that was actually approved by the Senate Appropriations Committee. I am assuming that that is a debt issue.
I assume it falls under the same structure, but I'll check it out if you would. And I would just ask, perhaps Debbie can text me or email me tomorrow to give me the references. I'll reach out to the senators to find out if they're under the same circumstances. What we were told through House administration, and in any two-house scenario, I don't know that the other house is under the same restrictions until I ask and find out. But I would suspect what the President has basically said, and you've seen this before, is that any decisions that have been made that he didn't make are under scrutiny in his mind. They're not automatically going to be honored unless it passes his test of acceptability, which in the future is probably true. But for those things that have been already approved, we would argue that that's not your option, his option.
Well, I think we can for the 26th year, we will reapply.
Yeah.
We also have at issue, and I know this requires a crystal ball. I asked this question at the municipal conference call last Monday, but obviously the public was not on that call, but for public consumption, the town of Rye has made application to FEMA for a stormwater project, also at Rye Town Park, of approximately $4 million. We obviously question as to whether that will be approved. We have applied through the county, which operates the CDBG program, which is federal funding of several $100,000. We believe that is an open question. And we've applied for several $100,000 for repairs based on a study that we did for the African American Cemetery. And that is clearly something that will be in the crosshairs of the current administration with its DEI policy. So if you have a crystal ball, you can let us know what you see, but I would like the public to be aware of these things that we have applied for that are certainly at risk, and they're all for the benefit of the town and the community.
I think, as I said up front, an outline in a communication from the town to my attention. You're welcome to send them to the U.S. Senators too, since they're also involved in general. I would break them into two categories: things that you've received approval for already up to this point. And if you have any letters from a prior administrator acknowledging that, that would be helpful to have in my possession. And then those that you've applied for which approval may not have been granted, but they're quote unquote in the pipeline for review.
Right.
And with those two sets of lists, then that gives me the ability to check out where we are, and I'll update you as we go forward. And I'll put it in writing, on letterhead, so it's not just conjecture. We'll see what kind of commitments we have or do not have.
All right, and George, I know you're running. I know you well enough to know that you probably have 6 other events this evening.
Only 4.
Only 4.
This is the second, and I got 4 more to go.
Well, I just, on behalf of the entire town council, I would like to thank you for coming to us and letting us know what's going in Washington and carrying on your tradition that you maintained when you were county executive, when you were our state senator, when you were our state assemblyman, of always working with the local municipalities in true partnership to get things done for the residents of our entire area. So I just want to thank you publicly and personally for all that you do for us. Thank you.
Thank you. And let me just close by saying that, I have had, the fortune to serve in a lot of different positions. You'd wonder if I could hold a job with all of those different things. But as much as, Jeffersonian democracy was written as part of the Constitution, when I'm at a town meeting, village meeting, small city, I see Jeffersonian democracy in effect. I see people who are either not compensated or marginally compensated who are in public office, spend a lot more money being in office at this level of government with a lot less glory and attention. You're responsible for very specific services that have to be delivered. And the people who want to challenge you come to this microphone face to face and challenge you. That doesn't happen in the state legislature and doesn't happen in the federal legislature. So in many ways, my confidence in government is rooted more here and in village halls and city councils than it is in the state level or the federal level. And I would like to see the federal level, since I'm there now, be more like a town board and less like this imperial body that decides without much input. But we go forward. I thank you for your time, and I thank you for your kind words, and I'm sure I'll see you out there the next day or two.
I'm sure we'll see you very shortly.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much. Have a nice evening. Good night, everybody.
Moving on, adoption of the minutes of February 20th, 2025. If there are no additions or corrections, may I have a motion and a second? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I'm going to skip the introduction of the town's website, the new website, which we're all interested in. But I want to get on to our resolutions. I know that Randy has to leave early and Pam has to leave early, so we're going to, I don't think there's anything controversial here. So let's start with resolution authorizing the town to appoint Brian Mortimer Sullivan as a consultant for the Town of Rye Sustainability and for event planning services for 6 events scheduled for 2025 and 2026 fiscal years. Pam, I think this is your baby. Do you want to tell us what this is about?
Absolutely. Everyone knows that I've been working closely with Brian for a few years now. He's been our town liaison and kind of the lead of the Environmental Sustainability Council here, rounding up the other local councils and planning twice yearly sustainability cleanup events. We're going one bigger this year. We're going to do an Eco-Fest at Crawford Park, which is basically aimed at letting people know that going green is not a scary thing to do. It's easy. It's a part of your life that's easily accommodated. We're planning for this event to be very family friendly. There's going to be music and art and demonstrations and electric automobiles and all sorts of fun things. And Brian has now been working for 2 months on behalf of the Eco-Fest to make it a reality. So we would like to actually allow him a stipend that will cover the amount of work he is going to do as the event lead on the Eco-Fest to bring this to light, not only for the first year, but also I'd like to have him go on retainer for 2 years so that if we are successful, and we can then proceed to 2026. The cost for Brian to be our event lead for Eco-Fest is $4,500, and that is on top of the $1,500 per cleanup that we authorize him to lead all the municipal organizations. And we actually do have, which Debbie will tell you a little bit more about, we have a benefactor who will help us cover those costs.
Yes, so the council may recall that last year, following the untimely death of the friend of the town, Ashley Weldy, her widower, Jack, would you like me to go to the podium, or is this fine?
I think that's fine.
Okay. Her widower, Jack, made a 3-year pledge to the town of Rye in her memory, a $10,000 gift each year. Last year, he funded the installation of a water fountain bottle filling dog bowl station right next to the brand new ball field. It actually was a sum slightly larger than $10,000. And this year, it seemed to make perfect sense and a complete honoring of Ashley's mission to have the Ashley Weldy gift underwrite the cost of Eco-Fest for the inaugural event.
Well, thank you. I think it's absolutely perfectly correct. Sustainability and ecology was Ashley's mission, and this certainly follows that blueprint. So I am in 100% agreement. So are there any, and we have up on the board the Town of Rye Eco-Fest. Some people call it an Eco-Fest, and when I hear the word Eco-Fest, I think who's doing the echo? It's Eco-Fest.
Economic versus, ecological.
Ecological. Could be ecological, but it's ecological.
And thank you to Sue Hoffman for that really fun new logo.
Yeah, it's really nice. So, may I, unless there are further comments, may I have a motion and a second to authorize Brian to be appointed as consultant?
So we're,
Oh, I'll
sorry.
No, Pam. I'll cede to Pam, and I'll second her motion.
Thank you, Jill.
Jill seconds, okay. Debbie, please call the roll. Or Debbie, I'm sorry, Hope. I'm not at the Park Commission. Shoot me, I'm looking at Debbie,
I
Hope.
know. Councilperson Axelrod?
Yes.
Councilperson Jaffe?
Yes.
Councilperson Selyer?
Yes.
And Supervisor Zuckerman?
Yes. Resolution renewing the Crawford Culinary Program. Oh, you know, Brian, do you want to say anything before we go to the next thing? Do you want to say hello? Let everybody see you?
Please, Brian has been such a wonderful and committed part of our town family now for years.
Thank you very much. Pam is always very generous with her praise of me. I really enjoy the work that I've done the past few years, and I've enjoyed the work so far in planning EcoFest, and I hope that the event will be great. And then, I guess, as far as our cleanups go, May 3rd, be there. We've got, I believe, 5 sites this time around. Hopefully 2 in Rye City, 1 in Port Chester, 1 in Rybrook, and 1 in Rhinebeck. So there's community service hours available to kids and whomever else might need them, and we hope you'll join us. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Brian. And I would like to make a note to anyone on the council who would be willing to come and help. The Rhinebeck cleanup of our cleanup day is always understaffed. There's usually just the leader of that sustainability committee there going solo doing creek cleanups. So if we could, I know that I've asked Vic to kind of reallocate the Crawford staff that we would have used for a Crawford cleanup over to Rytown Park, but we would love, over to the Right Neck cleanup. But if anyone is available that day and is willing to come out and have a day of friendship and cleaning up and making our waterways cleaner, that's more important than ever right now.
The village of Amerenik about this?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes. It's the park right next to the train station. Brian would know the name of it right off the top of his head. I am wonky because I'm on East-West Coast time.
That was actually last year's site, so it's back at the Mamaroneck River. So that's everybody meets on the Tompkins Avenue Bridge, which is near the movie theater in Mamaroneck, and then there's an access, like a little access path down to the bank of the river. And I helped Christy clean up there a few years ago. It's a great site. I'm personally devoted to Port Chester, but I'm not gonna.
What does that mean? It's a great site. It's got a lot of dirty stuff on it, or?
No, I mean it's physically it's a nice site because it's covered by shade. So if it's too hot, you're gonna be fine. There's water coming off the river, so it's comfortable. Obviously, it's a river that flows into the Sound, so it's a very important site because it's helping to prevent more pollution from entering into our local body of water. And I think it's a nice site. It's a good site to walk along, and it's an important one to clean up.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Our next resolution, renewing the Crawford Culinary Program and approving the concession agreement with Kara Tannenbaum, who happens to be sitting here. I think we need on the agenda, it says, the resolution says establishing.
It says pilot, and it's not a pilot.
Pilot, that needs to be changed. The resolution itself is correct, renewing the culinary program. So Debbie, do you want to just tell us briefly what this is about?
Yes, last year we had a pilot program introducing a culinary program for the Crawford Mansion Community Center. This was actually part of the, when we reimagined Crawford Mansion into becoming a community center, the kitchen was designed with the intention that it serve as a teaching and catering kitchen. And it took us a few years, and Kara Tannenbaum actually found us through the good offices of one of the nonprofit organizations that does activities here at Crawford. And so Kara Tannenbaum has the arrangement includes that as a resident of the town of Rye, she anticipates using the kitchen for 400 hours a year. And she has also purchased 2 pieces of equipment, professional level equipment, that she has donated to the town. So this year's program takes into account that rate minus the actual cost of the equipment. And in exchange, she also has very graciously offered to teach several cooking classes a year free of charge to town residents. Last year she did so on a number of occasions, including, as you see on the picture here, she led a cookie decorating activity for the several hundred attendees of the Holiday Lights Festival. And you see in that picture Kara and all the people making their way through the kitchen decorating cookies.
All right, thank you. Any questions, comments?
Are your recipes for chocolate chip cookies going to be put on the town website? I think that would be very good, very popular.
I can do that. Let me just say, should I speak up? That this has been a real pleasure for me. I mean, I didn't, the sort of participating in the community has been terrific, and doing these classes, people are so positive and so happy to do it. I try to do it seasonally, like a spring class, a summer class. I just did, was it last week, I think?
Yeah.
The early spring class, and everybody is so enthusiastic. I mean, the community, there are more people who want to attend than we can accommodate, and they stream the classes, and people really enjoy it. And it gives me great satisfaction to be able to participate in community things like that. So that it's a bonus that I didn't really think through when I began doing this, but I'm very happy to do it. And so thank you. And that's why
It's a particularly good program for Crawford Park. You're using the kitchen
Right.
at times when it isn't being used by another program. So it goes to the mission of full utilization of the facility.
And it's been a very positive thing. So thank you. That's why I
Thank you.
baked you cookies.
And by the way, Randy just had a fantastic idea.
Oh, to put the recipes
And
up
the
on
broken clock is right twice a day.
But there are also the recipes from those classes that could be uploaded
No,
to the website too.
what I'm
Yeah.
gonna suggest is, and this is entirely up to you, you could pick certain recipes, and perhaps once a month, post that
Do a
recipe.
column.
Like a newspaper cooking
Right.
column. Kara's cooking, or something like that.
No.
Right, and that would also advertise the classes and also have the recipes and get you out there, get the town out there, and I give full credit to
Hey,
Randy for
Randy,
this
yeah.
thought. This is a great
Yeah,
idea.
No, I didn't, I wouldn't have thought of it. I am not a self-promoter, as those of you who know me. It's like, I do what I do, and I do it happily, and I'm not, I never sort of look for opportunities, but I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, people will see that and say, oh, this is a great recipe, they try it, oh, it's great.
Yeah.
I should take a cooking class, I should tell my friends about it, all of
Buy
that
my
kind of.
cookbook, right, yeah.
Right, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, I have a lot of recipes that can, so.
Right.
I
Great.
believe we do, the recipes that you teach in your cooking classes,
Or
we
available.
post those.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I try to do a shopping list so people who cook along can, because there are people who watch and cook along at home, which is also a nice thing, so it's fun. It's fun. So, anyway, thank you. I'm,
Thank you.
part of, I live here and I feel part of it, and that's great, so.
Thank you. Did we have a motion and a second yet? Not yet. Motion and a second, please?
Motion.
Please call the roll, Hope.
Councilperson Axelrod?
Yes.
Councilperson Jaffe?
Yes.
Councilperson Selyer?
Yes.
Supervisor Zuckerman?
Yes. A resolution to extend the Town of Rye caretaker license agreement for 2 years, commencing July 20th of this year. Debbie, why don't you just speak to this? I know Vic is here, he could do it also, but you're sitting there with the microphone, so.
Yep. So
go for
the caretaker that we engaged 4 years ago I believe, is Charlie DeLeon. Every member of the council receives an email from him pretty much every night as he does his evening patrol. He's expanded it beyond what the caretaker normally did to include several of the other properties as well. The cemeteries, the bridges, once a month at least gets checked. And he also has been taking care of the flags, making sure they're lowered to have staff when orders of that come down from the governor. It's been a wonderful relationship. He has been here at times, often, really for safety, and has done a wonderful job. So this is putting in place an agreement that will recur unless we do something to stop that every 2 years.
Thank you. Any comments? Let me just say, Charlie is a terrific caretaker employee, and he has on several occasions intervened for safety concerns when residents were actually attacked, and called the police, and he stopped attacks, and both in Crawford and at Town Park. So he is doing an excellent job, and we are happy to extend the arrangement. With that, motion in a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, Hope.
Councilperson Axelrod?
Yes.
Councilperson Jaffe?
Yes.
Councilperson Selyer?
Yes.
And Supervisor Zuckerman?
Next resolution is authorizing the hiring, the retaining of Joel Dichter, of Dichter Law as special counsel to represent.
Pardon me, Gary? Would you complete the vote from the previous resolution?
Did I not say anything? Yes, of course.
Okay, thank you.
I was thinking
Thank
it,
you.
obviously. Okay, this is a resolution hiring Joel Dichter as special counsel to represent participating Westchester municipalities in Con Edison's electric and gas rate case before the Public Service Commission. When we say participating Westchester municipalities, that means 20 so far. I don't know if we're the 20th or the 21st. But virtually every community in Westchester is signing on to this. This is a $100,000 flat fee, and with 20 communities, that means a maximum of $5,000 per community. If there are more than 20, and there may be as many as 25, that would decrease the fee for each community. I know that the County of Westchester has also signed on. They are participating, but they are not hiring any expertise, as far as I know, any technical expertise or legal expertise in this field. They will have a seat at the table, as will each of the communities represented by Mr. Dichter. I know Mr. Dichter for many years, not so much personally, but as a representative. He was hired when I was elected as a trustee in Rybrook, all the way back in 1992. We hired Joel Dichter to represent Rybrook in rate cases, Con Ed, the water company, etc. He has tremendous expertise in this, brings technical knowledge, and I think this is an excellent move by the municipalities. As they used to say on the X-Files, we are not alone. This is, as I say, at least 20 municipalities. All of our surrounding municipalities, the city of Rye, village of Rybrook, village of Portchester, village and town of Amerenik. And it's actually spearheaded locally by Chris Bradbury and Stu Rabin as the administrators. So, Debbie, do you have anything to add? I know you've spoken to Chris many times about this. And
one of the things that I'd like to feature is the fact that this is not just paying for an attorney, it's also paying for the work of a consultant who will be doing their own independent analysis of the rates that are being proposed by Con Edison, as well as the fairness of the equalization between the portion of the bill that's footed by New York City versus Westchester County. So that when Mr. Dichter goes into negotiations, he'll be doing so backed up with independent expert analysis. And is as important as what the rate is per household, it's what share of the burden is going to be shouldered by Westchester County versus New York City. And the last time this was done, Westchester County did not have a seat at the table. And there was no pushback against New York City, which had a great deal of representation. So we're really hoping to reverse that trend and to ensure that the portion of the expense shouldered by the county is fair. And then beyond that, the calculations for what the apportionment should be per community, per household.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? May I have a motion?
No question. Just, what concerns our constituent does not to concern us. And I know Rybrook residents on Facebook has been blowing up on the Con Edison front. So thank you, Debbie, for bringing this to our attention and letting us, as you say, have a seat at the table.
Motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll home.
Councilperson Axelrod?
Yes.
Councilperson Jaffe?
Yeah.
Councilperson Selyer?
Yes.
And Supervisor Zuckerman?
Yes. Resolution approving the Town of Rise contract with Tyler Technologies to update the town's residential and commercial properties for the 2025 assessment roll. Charlie, why don't you just say briefly, why are we hiring Tyler?
Good evening. This is an annual resolution to retain Tyler Technologies, which does our residential and commercial values along with our office every year. This will be the third year I've worked with them, and over the last 3 years, they're doing an excellent job. We've seen the number of grievances and commercial filings drop steadily across the last 3 years. This year, we did an amazing job getting the number of grievances down to approximately 8 out of 10 grievances were withdrawn because the values were that good this year. So every year they seem to get a little bit better and a little bit better with our information. It takes time for a revaluation company to really get into a community and really learn the neighborhoods, and every year they just seem like they're getting better and better. So we look forward to using them again this year and hopefully for years to come.
The contract is for $101,000. And I think, is that the sum we paid last year, or is it a little bit more?
No, I think we were a little under last year. I think we were approximately 94,000-ish, 95,000 last year. But, I mean, there's some add-ons sometimes that we might have, so we might come below the 101 this year like we did last year, but there's some add-ons annually that we might have to put up, but the total would be 101.
All right, thank you. Any comments from the council? If not, motion and a second, please.
Motion.
Second.
Call the roll.
Councilperson Axelrod?
Yes.
Councilperson Jaffe?
Yes.
Councilperson Selyer?
Yes.
And Supervisor Zuckerman?
Yes. Now we have a series of tax certs, which I see finally got added to the agenda. Hope, thank you.
Yeah.
The first one is 10 South Pearl Street, a building we are all familiar with. It's the former town hall and now Near-Eyes building where T&J is located. Am I correct? Yeah. Jeff, you want to tell us about this?
These are three cases that my colleague Dan Tartaglia negotiated. They are all owned by the same, ultimately the same human being owner. They're different corporations, but they're all owned by the same. Is that right? Yeah. And, right, 10 Pearl Street, everyone knows 10 Pearl. It's an office and a restaurant now. And so there's a slight reduction in the assessed value for that, and I would recommend that the board approve this settlement.
And before we go on, I know that we just had a tax cert meeting with all of the communities, and I would like to confirm that the village and school district of Portchester have been advised and are on board with all of these.
That's our regular practice, and I'm assuming that Dan Tartaglia has done that. We talk all the time about making sure that we inform our stakeholders in advance of approving any settlements. So I'm fairly certain that that's happened.
All right. We're going to take these one after the other. We'll do them individually. The first one is 10 South Pearl Street. The second one is Nero's Land Improvement at 41. That's not South Pearl Street, it's Pearl Street. Am I correct?
It's Pearl Street. There could be a typo there because.
That's what it says on the resolution.
Yeah, so just strike the word south.
Okay, hope would you strike the word south in the final? We have South Main Street, but we don't have South Pearl Street. All right, 10 Pearl Street and 41 Pearl Street is across the street, obviously, and 61 is across the street. So the first one, 10 Pearl Street, which is a reduction of $494,500. And the parking lot is part of this.
Yes.
It's a reduction of $148,000. Is there a payback on this?
De minimis, very, very small. Each one is under, one is just above $5,000 for the village, and the others are less than that. In the school district, the largest payback is on 10 Pearl Street, which is just over $10,000.
Okay. And this is only year 2021 at issue?
Yes.
Okay.
In by the way, in conjunction with this settlement, there were a number of withdrawals. So we've negotiated, as part of this package, we've negotiated withdrawals on some other properties associated with this.
I assume he also filed for 22, 23, 24. Were they withdrawn?
Yeah, just 21.
21, the valuation date was July 1st, 2020, so for COVID.
So that's why it would be reduced.
Only 1 year.
So it's only 1 year?
1 year settlement, yeah.
Okay.
The stipulation does say South Pearl.
Nobody's going to complain.
Okay, fine.
What's the problem?
The stip did say South Pearl, so that's,
The stipulation did?
yeah.
That can be corrected.
Yeah, no problem, we'll correct it right now.
I'm actually in it, making the changes.
All right, motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Call the roll, please.
Councilperson Axelrod?
Yes.
Councilperson Jaffe?
Yes.
Councilperson Selyer?
Yes.
And Supervisor Zuckerman?
Yes. Cert on 41 Pearl Street, and that reduction is even smaller. Motion and a second, please.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Councilperson Axelrod?
Yes.
Councilperson Jaffe?
Yes.
Councilperson Selyer?
Yes.
And Supervisor Zuckerman?
Yes. And 40 Pearl Street. Motion is,
I'll make the motion.
please call the roll.
Councilperson Axelrod?
Yes.
Councilperson Jaffe?
Yes.
Councilperson Selyer?
Yes.
And Supervisor Zuckerman?
Yes. Let's jump up to the top of the, say, the menu. Item 5.1 is celebrating Arbor Day. I was handed a proclamation, and I'd like to put this in the form of a resolution. Hope, would you copy this in as a resolution? I'm just going to read the proclamation. The town of Rye does hereby proclaim April 26th as Arbor Day in the town of Rye. And we urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and support efforts to safeguard our trees and woodlands. May I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay.
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Pam's going to be leaving in a moment. I would love her to see some of the,
That's why I'm moving it along. Our next item, we'll do the reports afterwards. We have a presentation of our town's new website that our staff has been working on, especially Ruby and Carissa, who are approaching the podium. And this has been ongoing for the better part of a year, I believe.
Hello, everyone. So we showed this.
How about introducing yourself and Carissa?
My name is Ruby Tower. I am an administrative aide for the town.
My name is Carissa Sprague, and I'm an office assistant for the town.
And I presented the mock-up of this website a couple of months ago when we started the process of developing it. So this is the current final version, ready to go live when we give them the okay, as soon as tomorrow. And we just wanted to show you a couple highlights that we're particularly proud of. We're happy to show.
The floor is yours. Go for it.
So the first thing, this is the homepage. When you type in ryetownny.gov, this is what you get. We have our little pop-up on the left side that we can write anything we want, any sort of alert that we want people to see as soon as they open the site. And then on the right, we have our Text My Gov little widget there in both English and Spanish, where you can easily see the number to text and opt into the text notifications. And as you scroll down this homepage, this section is called the Quick Links, and it is 8 of our most popular destinations on the website. So if people are coming to look for, we have employment, pay taxes, FOIL, assessment rolls, budgets, transparency, bid opportunities, and then Ryetown Park permits. And we also have the opportunity to add 4 more quick links as we realize what people use the most on our new website.
May I make a suggestion?
Yes.
Meetings. When I want to go to the meetings, I'd like it on the front page.
You're
Meetings.
gonna like what comes next.
Oh!
So our next, well, not quite next. Our next section is the news. So as you see, the 3 most recent news posts show up here, and then you can click into any one of them and get more information about what we have upcoming or what we want to showcase in particular. And then following section is our new meetings section, where on the right side you can see we have easy access to the different ways to watch the meetings online, as well as subscribe to any agenda updates. And then we have both the town council and park commission meetings. The 2 soonest meetings appear here, and then we have the full meeting page. If you were to click there, it'll say everything for going forward. And then the next section is our events, which we're very excited about the calendar. On the right side are, once again, just the 4 soonest events. And then if you click see the full calendar, it organizes them by department or type at the top. So if you just want to see meetings, if you just want to see Rytown Park, you can click that. And then each event shows up on the date and time. And then if you click into it, you can see more details and where it's located. So that we're excited to have everything in one place and showcase all of our events. And then next is rentals. Pretty self-explanatory, but it highlights each rental and reservation type at both Crawford Park and Rytown Park, so people can easily find that information. And then this is the same video as is on our current site, but it's a nice video tour of the town.
Who's that?
So that's our homepage. And then when we scroll back up to the top, we can see that we have these little sidebars on the right side. And you can click to easily go to any of these different sections. So if you go looking for the meetings and you just click meetings, it'll take you right there. And you can quickly see what you want to access. And then at the top, we changed the way that the menu pulls down. So when you hover over any one of these categories, it actually tells you every single page that's located within each department. So it's easy to find, you know, if you're going to find a specific form in the assessment department, you can see it right there and click and just be brought right to there in less clicks than we used to have. And we can just show you one of the department pages. This is our executive office page. We have contact cards on the left. That, once again, it's just easy access, phone number, email, and then all of our staff contact information as well, just to, if you want to contact any specific person in our office.
How old is that picture of Gary? Jesus, I thought you were gonna say.
It's old.
And each department has one of these pages with the contact
That's when I ran
information
the
and,
first time.
you know,
Looks
just
great.
lets you quickly jump to whoever you need to contact. There's the clerk's page.
From the bar. Night out at Burns. What is that? You guys intoxicated?
Looks like a fun time.
Who knew that being a clerk was so much fun?
Oh, gosh, y'all. Ruby, great job. Carissa, great job. Looks beautiful.
It looks really great, I think.
Thank you.
Very user-friendly.
Translate button so we can see what the Spanish language version looks like.
That's great.
Oh, but wait, there's more.
There is more. We have the parks drop down, which just highlights each of both Crawford and Rytown Park. And under our what's happening at the park, Gary, we have the Rytown Park calendar, where we have included every event that's going on at the park, including the Barley Beach House events, so that you can see, so that we know everything that's going on at the park at the same time. So anything that comes up, we'll just add right there. And then we obviously are highlighting the town sponsored events at the top, past and present. But we have the whole calendar there. And then,
What is that open water swimming program?
it takes you right to registering for a permit if you would like to. There's that big button, and then it takes you to our permit portal, which you then can purchase a permit right online.
Really great.
And then one last thing to highlight is our contact us form over there. And it takes you right to any department that you would want to contact. You can enter your own information as well as your question, concern, and you can upload files to show maybe what you have questions about. And it goes right to the department head and then anyone else that they've listed as a contact. I think that's...
Under development is the mobile app?
Yes, we have our mobile app under
It's
development. We were
Under development? It's not ready yet?
We were ready to go, but then Apple is having problems with, or put up new restrictions for putting new apps in the App Store. So they gave us a 30 to 60 day window, probably 2 weeks ago. They let us know about that. So unfortunately, we don't have the app for you at this time, but because of this inconvenience, we are first in line to get the new updated app interface, which they sent us the mock-up of. We have this here, if you want to see.
How is that different from the app interface on the App Store or the app interface that we're gonna see?
The app interface that we're gonna see, they like are modernizing it now versus what we would have gotten if we got our app, you know,
Okay.
a month ago. They're coming up with a new version that's more usable.
Well,
But the website itself, I would assume, is optimized for mobile.
Yes, yeah, and the app has pretty much the same functions as the website. We have the calendar and the events and everything like that, and updates. So this is like what our app will look like. Basically, you can pull into the events calendar again and pull up any specific event. So we'll be excited to share the Town of Rye app when it
maybe next month we'll have it,
hits the
maybe.
App Store, hopefully.
That's great. This is exciting. This is good work. Ladies, this is great work.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
We're excited about it. So tomorrow afternoon, if you type in ryetownny.gov, you'll get this now.
I have a question more for Charlie, because I don't know. Are our assessment forms, for example, if somebody wants to file a petition challenging the assessment, is that online too?
Yes.
That is. And if you want to submit your exemption forms, that's also online.
Yes, everything that was on the prior website, is all the attachments.
Everything is online.
Yes, correct.
Good. My goal from the time I became supervisor has been that anything a resident wants that they would otherwise come into the office for or send an email for, any information should be on the website and hopefully on the app when it's available, so that it makes it easy for every resident to get anything they want from the town, and without any problems or restrictions. We've gone a long way with our FOIL system. I know there are certain things you cannot do online, like getting a marriage license, for example. But things that you can do online, we want to be able to do online, make it easy for the residents to do whatever they need to do with the town of Rye.
We'll link to the villages.
I'm not sure, but we can. We can add it. We can easily add anything.
Yeah, that would be great, to put a link on the front page, link to the Village of Portchester, link to the Village of...
Well, I think under community is the perfect place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we could put links to each of the school districts and each of the villages, and the county.
Got
And
it.
the county.
Will do.
Before you get down, I really want to repeat and highlight what a remarkable team the two of you have made, and the the interaction with all of the departments, providing you going out to the departments to making sure that each department was satisfied with what was showing up on the web and what could be improved, and hearing what that is and responding to it and making sure that the forms worked, particularly with the assessment department where that data is so critical. I really want to applaud the work that you've done. This is a superior work product.
Thank you. We're excited. Oh, wow. Thank you. Right, I think that's all, unless anyone has any questions.
Yes, Debbie, I agree with you. They're so helpful. Any question that we have, they're so eager to teach us or explain things and very patient. Thank you, ladies.
Great.
Thank you so much. Kudos again. Great job.
Okay, reports. We have a Crawford, do we want to do a Crawford Park report? It's in here. Everybody could read it. I don't know that we need to have a formal report on that. We have already reported on the cleanup day 2025. That was up there already. Financial, the tax receivables and in rem, I don't know, Davey's not on. Davey's online. Hey. How do you like the website, Davey?
They did a great job. Yeah, it's very interactive, a lot, easy to find things, so, kudos to that team.
Do you have any other report? Anything for you to report? I know the receivables are in the report.
Yes. Yeah, and then, which, again, we're still, we have them under control. They're just over half of 1% of the levies, which is very good. The audit field work has been completed. We're in really good shape with the audit. We're trying to get the draft reports issued in April, and we're shooting for the presentation of the audit for May. So we're coordinating that with Jeff Shaver, the partner in charge.
Okay, great. I noticed the in-rem receivables. This is a combination of Carla, you, Jeff. We have 7 properties that are scheduled for in-rem. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff, we have a court date of May the 18th, is that correct?
That is correct.
That is the, known as the redemption date. And once that date has passed, if the property owner has not paid their taxes, the judge may sign on that day or shortly thereafter a judgment of foreclosure, in which case the town of Rye will take those properties and sell them. There will no longer be a right for the property owner to take their property back. There are several properties that don't owe a real lot of money, and it's surprising. There are 3 properties that owe over $100,000. Under the law, the discretionary funding policy of the County of Westchester, before we sell it at auction, we have to offer these properties to the County of Westchester for affordable housing. So it may be that there may be affordable housing projects coming to the town of Rye if the County of Westchester so determines. So I don't have, do you have anything to add to that?
Hi, I'm Jeff Binder. I'm the town attorney, and handling these matters, as I've done in the last few years, I would just urge anyone who may have a property on this list to contact me, because our interest is getting the taxes paid, not going into the real estate business. So my office, in conjunction with the town and the supervisor, we work with people to resolve this. While we don't take payment plans, as other communities may, we can do other things. We can extend time. As long as I'm communicating with the property owner, I'm willing to try to accommodate their circumstances. And I have, over the years, been involved with people who have various personal circumstances, professional circumstances. Obviously, there's financial. This is all about financial circumstances, and we're not insensitive to that. So I would just say, please communicate with my office.
Yeah, let me just elaborate on one thing. I know that often people don't pay their taxes. Sometimes people don't pay their taxes because they don't want to pay the taxes. But most cases, people don't pay their taxes because they can't for financial reasons. And I've had, people say to me, well, why are you foreclosing, et cetera? one reason is that we have to maintain a reserve, and Davey could correct me if I'm wrong. When we have unpaid taxes, you heard the controllers say that we have a very low rate of unpaid taxes. But any unpaid taxes, we have to have a reserve for, because whether any resident pays taxes or not, we have to make whole the school districts and the county and the villages. When we get a tax warrant from the school district for millions of dollars, we have to have that money in the bank. If the money's not in the bank, we have to borrow it. And the result of keeping a reserve is that all the residents who do pay their taxes have their tax rate increased to cover those who do not pay their taxes. Because we, the town, must pay the taxes to the school districts, and we have 3 of them, 2 villages, and the county. And that's why we attempt to keep our receivables and taxes very low, and we don't want to be terrible people for those who cannot pay, but it penalizes those who do pay. So I just want to make that very clear. Anything else? Carla, do you have anything to say? Do you have a report? Do you want to say anything?
Yes, I do.
You're next up.
Okay.
Our receiver of taxes.
Yes, I have a couple things. So the delinquent letters have been mailed out for the village of Rye Grove. Thank you. Debbie usually does that for me. So I just urge whoever hasn't paid the second installment to please pay as soon as possible. The 2025 county town tax bills will be sent to the printer tomorrow and should be in the mail and online by the first week of April. A note is that we're no longer going to be using the TD lockbox in New Jersey. It's very important that residents understand that, so they don't mail checks there. The bills will go with a return envelope with the 222 Grace Street address. There is 4 ways to pay. Online is the best way to pay. They can mail the check to 222 Grace Street. There's a lockbox in front of Grace Street, or they can come in person. That's it, basically.
Let me reiterate what you just said about
Sure.
the ways to pay. Obviously, if you have a mortgage, your bank is paying it, and you don't really care how it gets there.
Yeah.
If you pay your taxes yourself, as Carla said, there are several ways to pay. The easiest way is online through what they call ACH. The charge is only, it's $1.
It's $1.50 for each check, and it's 2.35 if you use a credit card or
Right.
your debit card.
Right.
Right.
So if you want to, if you pay by credit card, it's a 2.35% of your payment.
Right.
So that could be relatively expensive. If you have a direct payment, ACH, from your bank to the town's account, the charge is only $1.50, no matter how large. If you pay $50,000 or $500, it's $1.50.
Right.
And it comes in immediately. The second you hit the send button, goes into our account, your taxes paid, you know you've paid it, we have the money, and you've paid your taxes.
Correct.
That's the easiest way to do it, and I urge everybody to do that. I know that Carla and Hope love to see all the taxpayers come in, but when tax time comes, the office can get crowded, and although both of them and the staff love all of you, they have work to do and don't have time to, as they say in Yiddish, kibitz. So I urge everybody to use the ACH method if possible.
Yes, I agree.
The second best method is to drop it off in front of Town Hall.
Right.
In the box.
Right.
It gets picked up more than one time once a day.
Yes.
It's even safer than using the mail,
Mhm.
which, if you mail your check, sometimes it takes a long time. You know,
Correct.
we're dealing with the post office
Correct.
after all. So, those two things I would advise everybody.
Yes, I agree. Thank you.
It's dropped in the front, in the box in the front.
In the lockbox, yeah, the
Everybody
Dropbox.
gets a receipt, so they'll know
Yes.
that we have it processed.
Right, we'll get a
already.
receipt.
Right. So
Yeah.
that's the best way to do it.
Right,
One of those two ways.
right.
All right?
Okay,
Thank you, Carla.
you're welcome.
And thank you, Gary. I do have to.
Randy, thank you. I know he stayed a little later than longer.
That's okay.
Randy, good luck.
Thank you.
Good night, Randy.
I think you finished the meeting anyway, Randy. I think we're about to adjourn. I think, is that it? Do we have anything else? Town clerk's report is submitted. Town attorney, you've spoken your piece. Anybody have anything else to say? Vic,
Just that we have the,
I saved, no, Vic, I saved you the time,
yes, you did.
but now if you're gonna speak, you gotta get up there.
Hi, Vic Federico, Director of Grounds and Facilities, and sometimes I don't know who I am. This Sunday, we have the Westchester Philharmonic, so if you haven't gotten your tickets, get them. Okay, and that's about all I have to say. Just wanted to remind everybody that, you know, the concerts are going strong.
Good, thank you.
Okay.
Our council has been depleted. Pam, do you have anything to say? Pam left? Jill?
Yeah, I'm in number two. No, yeah.
Okay. Well, I want to thank everybody. I don't have really anything to say. I've said it all that I had to say. So a motion to adjourn.
Well, we don't have enough, I think you can just put the time on the record, because we don't have enough people to actually make a motion.
That's true. I can make my own motion.
I mean, that's what I've done in the county. when I
Okay,
don't have- when I
motion.
lose my quorum.
Meeting is adjourned for lack of a further
You
quorum.
can just put the time on the record now.
Yes.
7:12.
Thank you, Jill.